Thank you as well. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Can I take minutes to
Yes.
introduce myself?
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
So, hello everybody. My name is Damsey. I'm the president and founder of AAPN. I'm a nuclear engineer, and I spent 12 years working in nuclear power plant in France for EDF. And now I'm interested in nuclear for Africa because I think in Africa we need energy. 600 million of Africa has no access to electricity, and I think it's too much. And we need all sort of energy. We need oil, gas, wind, solar, and also nuclear power. So the aim of this association is to connect every African professional in the world and to share our vision about the impact, the positive impact of nuclear power in our continent. And I think in the future, we can operate the nuclear power for more energy to all African people. So thank you, Edwin, to accept our invitation and to share about the Kenya Nuclear Power Program. And we are so proud of your country.
Super. Thank you very much, Dam. I did not. I saw that you have left, though. That is why I was going to switch to this. But you did it. You talk about the aim and the purpose of the association. And Edwin, we will give you the floor.
Are you sharing your screen, Fatou? Because we don't.
You don't see it. Okay, yeah. Sorry for that.
So you are showing a PPT, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's okay now.
Okay, let me share again and tell me if you see my screen. Do you see my screen?
Yeah, it's better. It's
okay. Okay, super. Yeah, so what I was going to say is that Edwin, we will leave you the floor just after this slide to let you introduce yourself. And yeah, so we do it. Your introduction will come afterwards. Yeah, so this slide was just to remind the aim and the purpose of the association. So as Dan was saying, the association is made of passionate professionals, and the main mission is to promote the development of nuclear energy and its peaceful use in our continent, in Africa. So we put here our main missions. The first, as we said, is to promote the development and peaceful use of nuclear energy in Africa. The second is to facilitate, so to perform public awareness on the benefits and challenges of nuclear energy in Africa. And then at the end, to boost cooperation between African countries in the field of nuclear energy and a solid network between nuclear professionals, facilitating sharing and exchanges. So yeah, so these are our main targets, and we are quite sure that having us all together and working together will help to build and to achieve these missions. So Edwin, I will leave you the floor for your introduction and to have a bit of hints regarding your background. So over to you, Edwin.
Thank you so much, Jama. Thank you so much, Fatua. Thank you so much, Mamadou. Thank you so much, Lennox and Abraham. Indeed, actually, this is a wonderful opportunity that we are gathered here on a very, very important discussion concerning the continent and the future of Africa. And actually, this is one of the most profound opportunity that we can accord one another. And I believe that from the look of things, all of us, we are not old people. We are a bit young. And I think the future of Africa depends on us. And I want to really applaud the AAPN, even though I have not heard of it, but from the mission, the vision, and what we aim to achieve, I think it is a very, very important Association. Yes, we can now go to the presentation. Now, as I indicated, my name is Edwin Chesire. I'll be presenting today on this important component of actually, will nuclear energy be a game changer for Kenya's energy future? As I said in the beginning, is that my name is Edwin Chesire. I'll be presenting on this very important discussion, and I believe that at the end of the day, all of us will be able now to gain from what will be presented. So to begin with, so I think what I want to say that we as a country, we have a Vision 2030. And this Vision 2030 is actually aiming and helping our country to be a global, competitive, and prosperous nation with high quality of life by 2030. And for us to attain this vision, according to the crafters, we have three main pillars. You can see the pillars that are in red. There's the economic pillar. What the desire of this economic pillar is to attain and sustain economic growth of 10% per annum over the next 25 years. In terms of the social, because social fabric is an important component where we need to have a just and cohesive society, enjoying equitable social development in a clean and secure environment. And then in terms of politics, because politics is a matter of every person, because anything that to talk about, it's politics. We need to have an issue-based politics, people-centered, result-oriented, and accountable democratic political system. And for us to have this pillar to attain the vision, then energy has been identified as a key enabler. And during this time, actually, nuclear was proposed as one of the aspects that will be able now to meet our Vision 2030. And in a nutshell, our Kenya electricity mix, as it is stand right now, we have a total installed capacity of 3,778 megawatts, which we can be able now to see that 26% of which is coming from geothermal. By God's grace, we have a very progressive geothermal development agenda in our country. And you know, Kenya is actually in the center of the Rift Valley. So we have very interesting phenomenon, because according to the planners, our geothermal will range between something like 7,000 to 10,000 megawatts. The second one is hydro, which is 24%. And then we have thermal, which is 14%, wind 12%, and solar 6%. So you can see that at the end of the day, that in terms of the renewable energy, it accounts for almost 79%, 80%. But when we are doing the dispatch, because of the issue of the thermal, which is not very, very clean, our energy mix always that we dispatch to the people and to the grid and to the economy is actually above 90% from renewable, specifically from geothermal, from hydro, from wind, and from solar. For information, Kenya has the largest wind farm, that is called the Lake Turkana Wind Power, which actually has a capacity of almost 300 megawatts. But when you look at this all, and when you look at the pillar that I have shared in the beginning, it is true that development of any ecosystem will require energy. And according to us as a nation, we are having what is called the Least Cost Power Development Plan, the LCPDP, which actually plans for the power that we need to have in the next years. So we go according to the least cost, and at the end of the day, an environmentally friendly energy source. So according to this plan, it has been identified that nuclear will be able now to come in the year 2034. But why nuclear? Why nuclear? Because this is a question that everybody asking himself. Why nuclear? Because at the end of the day, we have enough geothermal, we have enough solar, we have enough wind, we have enough hydro. Why solar? And this is the question that we need actually now to tell our people. That what we need energy. What we need electricity. What we need our lives to be enhanced. And that is why any source of energy that will bring this desired goal, then we need to welcome it. And one of them, it is nuclear energy. For us to be able now to meet our additional increase in electric demand from the Vision 2030, we need nuclear power. For us to diversify our energy mix of power generation for efficient supply, we need nuclear energy. For us to have reliable, adequate, competitive, and affordable electricity, and we need to have nuclear energy. And for us to have clean, environmental friendly, and it is something that even the international community are looking at, we need nuclear power. And then how did we arrive here? As I said in the beginning, in 2010, the National Economic and Social Council recommended adoption of nuclear power into the energy mix. But this was done because we wanted our nation to move forward. And in this committee, there was one of the very respected South Korean professor. He told this committee that for you, a country to continue to prosper, at one point, you need nuclear energy. And that is why in 2010, nuclear energy was considered for inclusion in the country's energy mix. And the same time, 2010, when we were employed, then the Nuclear Electricity Project Committee was established. But in 2012, this Electricity Project Committee was transformed into what is called Kenya Nuclear Electricity Board. And this board, we did a lot of work. We carried the feasibility study, we carried technical studies. And in 2019, when now the board was enacted, was actually transferred into what is called the Nuclear Power and Energy Agency under the Energy Act of 2019. So in essence, what have we been able to do in terms of creation of organization? In our nuclear power program sector, we have three major organizations. The one which I've just told about is the NuPEA, that's the Nuclear Power and Energy Agency, which has the mandate promoting and implementing Kenya's nuclear power program, coordinating research and development for energy and petroleum sectors, and coordinating capacity building for energy and petroleum sector. Apart from this, also, we are the National Liaison Office, which will coordinate all technical application between Kenya and IEA. Another organization which is very, very important that we need to look at, and I believe that we need also to welcome them to come and give their presentation of these findings, is called the regulatory body, the Kenya Nuclear Regulatory Authority. This has been given the mandate to protect persons, property, and environment against the harmful effects of ionizing and ionizing radiation through the establishment of a system of regulatory control. It is important for the public to know that for you to be able now to implement the nuclear power program, you need to have a robust regulatory framework. Also, we are trying our best to establish an owner operator, because this is the organization that will be able now to operate and own the nuclear power plant. And also, we need to have a technical support organization to be able to give support also to the owner operator and also the regulatory body. So these two organizations, the owner operator and technical support organization, are being established. So what have we been able to do? We've been able not to do pre-feasibility study. You know, for you to attain the national position, you need to have three things. Number one, you need to have the energy planning to identify if nuclear is part of the mix. The second one, you need now to have what is called the pre-feasibility study, because at the end of the day, you need now to look at how viable is this nuclear power program. So we've been able to conduct an electric grid study. I was the one also leading it in 2016 to 2019. We have been able now to do what is called legal and regulatory framework development. Because at the end of the day, for you now to have a legal and regulatory framework, you need to ensure that you have the nuclear national legal regulator, which has been formed, and also to be able now to ensure that your legal framework is actually up to date. We have been doing capacity building initiative. We have been working together with South Korea. We've been working together with Russia and China and US to establish and be able now to train our people. We have had an opportunity to do what is called the screening for the site for the nuclear power plant. Until we have the best and alternative site, these are the Kenyan coast. One, the best site is in Kilifi, the alternate is in Kwale. We are undertaking national stakeholder engagement, because for you now to be able now to be supported, you need to ensure that stakeholder engagement is on top notch. So in terms of environmental protection, we need to ensure that we have strategic environmental social assessment, which have been undertaken. And also, as we are following the IEA milestone approach, we have undertaken the INIL Phase 1 and INIL Phase follow-up mission in 2015 and 2021, respectively. We are developing the policy and strategies for nuclear fuel cycle, for radioactivity management, for nuclear safety, for procurement, and for human resource development. And also, we have conducted preliminary reactor technology assessment. So what's the status of the nuclear footprint in the whole world? As we speak today, we have 416 nuclear power plants in operation. And I'm very glad Fortua and Dama, they are working in a nuclear power plant. And it's really, really encouraging. And also I heard about Mamadu also. I think it's very, very good that you people, you have gone ahead of us and your experience is going to be very, very great. And you can see the nuclear power plant being constructed at 63. But of interest actually is on the right. When you look at the regions of these 416, you can imagine all Africa, we have only 2 reactors. We have total electric capacity of 1,854 megawatts. Out of these 374, why Africa? And Africa is the most, actually has the youngest, the future of businesses and everything is in Africa. But when you come to the next point of the 63 being built, I am happy to note that Egypt is actually building 4 nuclear power plants with a capacity of 4,400 megawatts. Then I think by the end of maybe the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, Africa will be having at least 6 nuclear power plants. And I think it's the way to go. As I said in the beginning, is that Kenya nuclear power program is actually following the IAEA milestone approach. This approach has 3 phases, and at the end of each phase, there is a milestone. So Kenya, we are in phase number 2, so that we can be able now to ensure that we have made a knowledgeable decision. So we are undertaking preparatory work for the construction of the first nuclear power plant. And at the end of this milestone, we anticipate to ensure that we have the ready to invite for bids in the next 2, 3 years. So in terms of infrastructure development, these are the 19 issues that we're looking at. We are looking at the national position. How is our country going to ensure that we can have political decision on the same? Nuclear safety. Safety is an overriding priority for us. Management, funding and financing, legislative framework, safeguards, all the way to procurement. So in terms of Africa, how do we look at the issue of nuclear development? You can see in this slide that the operation that has in phase number 3 and milestone number 3 is South Africa, as I said, having 2 nuclear power plants. In phase number 2, we have Egypt, which actually is doing very well. And then my brother Lennox from Ghana, you're doing a wonderful job. We are following it slowly. Nigeria also there, and Kenya. And the rest of the team, that is Sudan, Niger, Rwanda, doing well. Thank you, Abraham. Zambia, Uganda, Morocco, Senegal, Mamadou, Egypt, Algeria, DRC, Congo, Namibia, Tanzania. So you can see actually this is something that we can be proud of. And I want to call upon the AAPN. We need to have representative of this country. Because when you look at our vision, to be able now to bring the continent together for the peaceful application of nuclear technology. And you can see the mission the mission number 3 is to actually to have these people coming together to share experience, because these are the people that we need to work together with. We need to be in one WhatsApp group. We need to be in one Google Drive. We need to be in one Gmail account. We need to be in one place at one time to be able now, especially for us young people. I believe that this is an important slide that we need to share with our people. That these people, wherever you are, from Tanzania, from Uganda, from Nigeria, from Egypt, from South Africa, from Senegal, from Kenya, from Rwanda, from Tunisia, from Zambia, from Egypt, from Senegal, from Algeria, from DRC, Congo, and Namibia, we need to be together. We need to have this representative. So I believe that this is an important slide that we need to ensure that we can come together as a people to be able now to live, to rally our continent towards the useful, peaceful use of nuclear technology. So in terms of our roadmap, I think this is a bit very conclusive. So we can see that according to us, we need to have our first nuclear power plant at the year 2034 with a lot of activities being undertaken. And I believe that right now we are trying to ensure that we get the site characterization, detailed site characteristics, environmental impact assessment, securing of financing, and preparation of BIS, bid invitation to specification, review of the bid, vendor selection, and then now we continue until now we start up the construction. But of importance also, I want also to reiterate this one because I've been working so closely with the IEA on these issues. IEA has 5 major initiatives. One of them, and this all is nuclear technology, one of them which is very important, and you can be able now to see, rays of hope. This is going to ensure cancer for all, especially in our continent. We can imagine actually many countries do not have radiotherapy centers. They are actually, cancer is one of the leading diseases in their country. So this initiative is an important one. And I want to urge us that we can go now to really see how as AAPN can we partner together with IEA on this rays of hope. Another one is atoms for food, because food is an important. You know, according to the way we were learning in school, there are 3 basic needs. 1 is food, 2 is shelter, 3 is clothing. So if even if you have clothing and shelter and you don't have food, it's a problem. It's better that you have food and you don't have the other 2, because you can be able to survive. So another thing that the IEA has started is called the NuPEA plastics, a solution for plastic pollution. And then we have Zodiac. You remember COVID-19 and how transboundary diseases from animal to human beings. So a solution towards the early detection and prevention of zoonotic diseases. And the mother of all, and I call it a blessing that the IEA is doing, is the atoms for net zero. For the first time during the COP28, nuclear was actually included as a solution towards the achieving the net transition of energy. It was a great aspect. And we can remember also in March this year, when they met in, I don't know where it was, but actually they continued with the Nuclear Energy Summit. And now even COP29, 31 countries have signed the aspect of tripling nuclear by the year 2050. So the power to harness the nuclear energy in the transition to net zero is gaining traction. And with now the bringing in of the SMR, I believe as a continent, we have what it takes. We have the market, we have the people, we have the grid, we have the economics. So to me, I think we are going to have a game-changing, and I believe in the next 20, 30 years, Africa will be in front. Africa will be ahead. Africa will be using nuclear technology in each and every part of say it in the northern, in the eastern, in the western, in the southern, in every part of the African continent. This initiative, Atoms for Net Zero, we need to come in and be able now to take our space. So also, we need also to agree that actually nuclear is not only for electricity. Our countries will lack clean water, and nuclear is a solution for water desalination. The future of water, it's not hydrocarbons, it's gonna be hydrogen. And the best technology for us to produce hydrogen is nuclear technology. For the purposes of cogeneration, the only way to be able now to break even is to apply nuclear technology for cogeneration. How can I say about ship propulsion? This has been from the time immemorial. Either way you're going under the sea or whether you're going in the space, nuclear technology will be used. Outer space, oil refineries, synthetic fuels, district heating and process heat. So these are actually the attributes that you're talking about. And each and every person is able to understand. For me to have clean water from the sea, one that has salt, water desalination, nuclear must be used. So in the game changing of a nuclear power plant to our economy, I want to agree and say this one. Nuclear power plant is a major civil infrastructure project, which has many tangible and intangible benefits to the local, national, and regional front. These include infrastructural development. When you have gone to a place where they have constructed a nuclear power plant, you will see new roads, you will see electricity substation, you will see new hospitals, you will see new schools, you will see improved security, you will see new water and sanitation infrastructure. This comes as a package. And I believe that this is going to be, everybody wants to live in a place where they are good roads, where there is clean place. And one of the aspects that comes with the nuclear power plant is infrastructural development. You can see this is a photo that we got from one of our partners in the US. This is called South Texas plant. You can see how the things are. The second aspect, which is a very important, job creation. Job creation is a very important aspect in our continent. Unemployment, it is key. I have watched with horror how our young men are trying to cross the ocean to go to get a place in another place. I can see young men who are trying to cross the Sahara Desert to go to have a meaningful job. We have seen many people, but I want to urge us, nuclear can be a game changer in bringing in well-paid jobs. During construction, of all the people, if you are high grade, if you are the artisan, if you are the craftsman, you can be able now to get a job. Also, during operation, we can be able now to get the domestic supply chain for manufacturing the 6 model plant per year could generate about 13,000 jobs. This is according to the small model reactor, because at the end of the day, we need to tell our people that job creation is a reality with the nuclear power plant. Another aspect is that socio-economic development using nuclear technology, the increased local and national gross domestic product from many economic activity near the nuclear power plant. The contract with the domestic companies, the induced jobs as teachers, as doctors, as suppliers. There are a lot of socio-economic development that come with the nuclear power plant. Another one which is very important, we need to shout out at the top of our voice that nuclear power is one of the cleanest sources of electricity in the world. People might be talking about many things, but actually, if we are serious about energy transition, nuclear is supposed to be on the table. If you talk about the transition to lower than 1.5 degrees, actually, nuclear is supposed to be on the table. So zero greenhouse gases emission during operation and no negative impact on the local environment. Water and air monitoring is done 24. And you can agree with me, Fortua and Dama, who are working in the nuclear power plant, you can actually see how monitoring is supposed to be done. Improve education and STEM. This is a place where we can be able now to ensure our young people can get better education. They can be able now to be trained well. And at the end of the day, it's going to be okay. So environmental improvement, construction and operation of nuclear power plant will set land management practices like reclamation, rehabilitation, and strict monitoring. This will improve the living environment of the local and national position. So in terms of conservation, construction and operation of nuclear power plant will by law necessitate conservation of the environment surrounding them. You know, you cannot do anything that you want to do because of the strict regulation. This will have many spin-off benefits to the local community, including improved biodiversity, health, aesthetic, and economics. So in summary, what are we saying? The benefit of the nuclear power plant to be able now to be a game changer to our economies, whether it is in Kenya, whether it's in Senegal, in Ghana, in Rwanda, is that for us to have carbon-free electricity, nuclear power should be in the mix. For us to have better jobs for our people, for our future generation, we need to have nuclear technology. For us to have revenue stream for our countries and hosting counties, nuclear technology should be included. For economic ripple effect in locality where the nuclear power plant will be built, this is going to be a game changer when there is a $5 billion investment. The economy will change automatically. Where we need to have faster economic growth because of sustainable power, affordable power, then nuclear technology should be in the mix. For us to have stable power supply to our economy, to our industries, to our schools, to our homes, then nuclear power should be there. For us to have a game changing in our lower electricity tariff, actually, nuclear power should be mentioned. For our schools, for our roads, for healthcare to be enhanced, then nuclear power will be a catalytic and a game changer in this. And all these things will go on, but also there are challenges. The challenges that we need to have and need to handle is public perception. Despite these benefits, Nuclear power often faces public opposition due to safety concerns and historical accidents. So we need to build public trust and address misconception. As AAPN, we need to build public trust. We need to address the misconception. So at the end of the day, we can have successful development and operation of the nuclear power plant. We know actually nuclear power plant has high construction financing cost. So building a nuclear power plant is a complex and expensive undertaking. The initial investment is substantial, requiring significant financial resources and long-term planning. But once this has been planned, once it has been constructed, then the revenue stream will be able now to pay it off, be able now to have very high rate of return on investment, and at the end of the day, having multiplying effect in the socio-economic development of our countries. Nuclear waste remains a thorn in the flesh. So nuclear waste remains reductive for thousands of years, posing a serious environmental risk challenges. Finding safe long-term solution for this waste is a complex and ongoing challenges. So the current method, like deep geological disposal, involving burying waste in stable rock formation, is a solution currently being undertaken. Finland is still leading the way. Ghana, you're doing something on borehole disposal, which is very important type of technology. But there's a lot of research and development in this area, and we believe that we shall have a way forward on this. So the risk of accident, while safety measures are rigorous, accident can occur, leading to catastrophic consequences. Incidents like Chernobyl and Fukushima highlight the potential for widespread environmental contamination. So ensuring the highest safety standards and robust emergency response plan is crucial. I was glad to hear my friend Lennox, who actually works in the National Rail Regulatory Authority, and your area is in emergency response. I think this is something that we need to also come out and tell our people. And at the end of the day, the first layers of the protection in the nuclear plant and the core damage frequency, how it has been done, it can be able now to ensure that the risk of accident is minimized to the lowest potential. So with that, I want to really say thank you so much. And I want to say that this has been a wonderful discussion. And I want to end there. And I want to say God bless you. And I want to say we can go back to any Q&A. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you very much, Edwin. Honestly, the presentation was so interesting. I mean, we have this global overview of how Kenya is seeing today this energy, and we had very comprehensive of these challenges that we were all have to handle. And so yes, so now time to questions. If you have any questions, guys, just open your mic and go for it. And yeah, so over to you guys.
Thank you, Edwin, for your great presentation. And I appreciate the fact that although you are in Kenya, it seems you've really taken the entirety of Africa. You know what's really going on in Africa with regards to nuclear technology. I appreciate that. Now, you said currently you are in the phase 2 of the IAEA milestone approach, just as Ghana is also in phase 2. That means you are yet to name a vendor country. But can you tell me if you've selected the reactor type or the reactor technology? Maybe you said it and I didn't hear. It could be so. But I wanted to know if Kenya has already selected their reactor type.
Thank you, Lennox. I believe that is a good question. I believe that yes, we and Ghana, we are in the same phase. Actually, last week we were with, this week we were with one from Ghana, Ghanaian. I think you know Stephen Yamal, the executive director of
NPG. Yes.
Yeah, NPG. Exactly. So we in the moment, if you can recall my presentation, I say we have done what is called the preliminary reactor technology assessment. And this reactor technology assessment is in two fronts. One is for the large nuclear power plant, and another one, it is in the small modular reactors. So the preliminary RTA has been undertaken, but we have not concluded on choosing the reactor. But one thing that is going to be sure, we're going to have a light water reactor. So that at the end of the day, is either it can be an SMR or it can be a large nuclear power plant, but we have not conclusively selected the provider.
Okay. Lennox, yeah. Is it okay for you, or maybe you have you want to complete? You want to say something else, Lennox, according to Edwin?
Yes, Fatu. Actually, it's a follow-up question.
No worries.
Yeah. And thank you once again. Okay, I appreciate your response, and yeah, I'm very grateful. Now, my last question, I promise, guys, this is my last question. Yeah.
No. Ask as many questions as you can, Lennox. No worries.
Sure. Thank you. A couple of weeks ago, I think, in one of the selected communities where the nuclear power plant is supposed to be built, I think some of the natives, I'm tempted to believe it is some environmentalists who were posing as natives, who were demonstrating and also making noise about their not ready to have a nuclear power plant in Kenya, especially in that area. They cited environmental factors and other things. So I was having a conversation with with a friend of mine, and I was saying, well, could it be there wasn't much education with regards to public buy-in, as in creating the awareness, or these are just environmentalists? So can you come clear with that? And also, what has been the way ahead now? Has everything been agreed, or you are still in some of contention with them? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lennox. And I believe that that's very, very important, because at the end of the day, you know, in life, the only thing which is going to be opposed is something which is good. If actually in your life you're doing something and you don't get opposition, sometimes you might asking, am I doing the right thing or not the right thing? So we have actually a very formidable environmentalist organization, which are trying to do a lot of misconception, misinformation. And if you remember when I was saying, one of the biggest challenges that we are having, though nuclear power plant has greatest benefit, but these people with miscommunication, misconception, with myths. In fact, they are telling that at the end of the day, even if you hear nuclear, you will be able to do. You'll be moved. All of you guys will be moved from here. Nothing will happen here. You know, it is just that we are going to get a second-hand reactor that has been used somewhere and can become dumped here. You know, there's a lot of misinformation. But what we are doing, actually, we are trying to really ensure that we can talk with the community people on their own, because those are the people that we need to engage together with. We need to actually bring them together. We have a program that we are going to ensure that we are going to engage the community in detail. I think when we started, there was a bit of not conclusively dealing with the community, and that is why they got a way in. Because but now we have learned that there's something we need to do in ensuring that we can actually engage with the community on the basis. Even though we tried, but it was a bit late because they had actually gone ahead and poisoned, and whatever they are saying that now, in fact, even as you speak right now, we are building the nuclear power plant. It's not true. Because what we wanted us to do is to ensure that we can get the data from the area, and if you can look at the process of getting the best site, is you do first of all the screening, and then after that, then you do site characterization. So at the end of the day, if the site is chosen, then now we can move on to engage and move on to really tell people this is the place where we're going to have the nuclear power plant. So we are trying to really try again to come back to the community to talk together with them. At the end of the day, we can have a clear, detailed engagement together with the community. But yes, there's been a quite of data resistance, but we're trying to see how best we can be able to convene together with the policymakers, with the leadership of the community, including the religious persons and also the people who are the opinion shapers in those communities. So we are trying to surmount this aspect.
Super. Lennox, any comment, or is it okay for you?
Fatu, this is okay for me. Perfect. Very perfect.
Great, super. Thank you very much for your questions, and thank you, Edwin, for the answers. Salu, over to you.
Yes. Thank you very much. Very much for this interesting presentation. I've learned a lot in few minutes. So thank you very much. My first, maybe just one question. As you said, the development of the nuclear energy needs a lot of skills and very strong skills. What types of schools and universities programs you have in Kenya to support this development? And do you consider partnerships outside of Kenya, maybe in African universities or European or Asian or American universities?
Thank you, Mamadou. I think that's a very great question, and I want to really say thank you so much for the question, because nuclear is a capital intensive and also it's a knowledge intensive industry. So what we have been doing since 2013, 2014, we have been working together with South Korea. I believe some of us might be knowing the Korea Institute of Nuclear Graduates, KINGS, KEPCO KINGS, that actually it is now training some of our engineers. Secondly, at this particular moment, under the program which is called the FAST, that is the foundational infrastructure, responsible use of nuclear technology with the US, we are developing curricula for our local universities. Number three, Kenya is building what is called the Kenya Advanced Institute of Nuclear Science and Technology, which actually is going to train our nuclear engineers. Number four, we have our University of Nairobi, which has an Institute of Nuclear Science and Technology, which has been training our scientists on nuclear science. So we have been working also with Kenyatta University and Jomo Kenyatta and other universities to build their competencies of ensuring that they can build up the curricula for nuclear technology. That said and done, also we are working together with our continent, especially Ghana, because of there's the 6-month training course on radiation protection. So even Kenya, we have begun through the IEA to be able now to do the certificate course on radiation protection for radiological workers. So also we're working together with China, supporting us through the IEA, Russia, and also the US. So we are partnering with this, but now going forward, because now once our institution that is mandated for the owner operator, then an intensive capacity building will be begun. That said, but also for the TVETs, that is the Tertiary and Vocational Training Institute, we are working with one of our leading tertiary institution called the Modern Oil and Gas Institute to be able to train our welders. So we are trying to ensure that we have all the workforce. And if you can remember, we are developing our human resource development strategy, which entails on who to be trained, when to be trained, and where to be trained. So once this has been done, I believe that maybe we can be able to move forward. But in a nutshell, yes, we are training with our development partners from Korea, China, Russia, and the US. We are also working together with African institutions, especially Ghana at the moment. And also we are building our homegrown solution of ensuring that we can have a workforce for the people. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Salut. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much for this very great answer. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Salut, for your question. Yeah, Lennox, over to you again.
Yeah, Fatu, I also wanted to add a few to what Edwin has stated earlier. There is also the World Institute for Nuclear Security, which recently they signed a MOU with Kenya. And the World Institute of Nuclear Security also trains professionals in various aspects of nuclear security. So there is transport, there is incident management, and public communication and other sectors. And they've been doing well. I'm glad to say I'm a member of the institute, and I know a couple of Kenyans who are also on board. Yeah, so Mamadou, there are a lot of opportunities. And one thing I've realized about the nuclear industry, sorry, is that regardless your initial field of study, once you enter the industry, there are lots and lots of trainings which you can undergo. So Edwin was talking about the IAEA postgraduate educational certificates course, which runs between Ghana and Kenya. Currently, it's in Ghana, and next year it will be going to Kenya. Well, it's an intensive 6-month training, and once you come out of it, you become a professional. You become a radiation protection officer. So there are a lot of opportunities, regardless where you find yourself. I think once you enter the industry, there are going to be a lot of trainings for you to build your capacity.
Yeah, very interesting. Thank you, Lennox, for this compliment. Okay. If no question, I have a question. It was about the public confidence on this nuclear energy. What you were saying, Edwin, that you were saying that this is a really challenge to make sure that people are happy and have a commitment on this nuclear energy, but before that they need to have this trust, as you were saying. So how are you working to build this trust within the country?
Yeah, thank you so much, Fatu. And I think that is the reason why I was really saying, when you have somebody who can speak on your behalf, it really makes sense, because you see the normal way of people looking at things. If Fatwa, you come and tell me, I am a good person, I really doubt. How are you good? But if now Dama come and tells me, actually, Fatwa is a good person, I will believe in him. So what we are doing, we are partnering with our international community people and experts, just to come and be able now to really showcase and be able now to speak on our behalf. That is one way. Number two, we are asking our regulatory body, because for you to be able now to be assured of your safety, then you need to have a regulatory body that is confident, it is effective, it is efficient. So we want also our regulatory body, and we're talking together with them to go out and tell the people that this is our turf. We are going to ensure that the regulation of the nuclear will be undertaken by us, and they can trust us. And number three, then we are also working with their policymakers and their leaders, just to take them to a place where they can see a nuclear plant. Because, for them, they think that actually when the primary loop from the reactor vessel or from the reactor island, it is being just taken to the sea. Because the other day we were with one of their leader, and they were saying that, you guys, how can you come and dump waste from the nuclear plant? You imagine, okay, all that water that comes from the nuclear plant, it's going to be to destroy our fish. So there is this, but now if they go and check and they look, because now we're planning for one of the scientific visits hopefully in the next year, for the policymakers and decision makers to go and visit a nuclear plant to see how things will be. Because we did this one in 2012, 2013, and the people who came there, the policymakers, they changed completely. And up to date, they are ambassadors. So those are the three initiatives that we are talking towards. And I want also to encourage even you as the AAPN. If you get chance, we can invite you to come and speak, not because that you are earning a salary from my organization, but because you have seen how nuclear power plant is being operated and it's being used in other places. And by doing that.
Yes, Lennox, go for it.
And it is a quick one. So, with regards to policy, just as Kenya is a democratic country like Ghana, has there been measures in place where it is going to ensure the continuity of Kenya's nuclear power program? Is it a time will come when, let's say, President Ruto is out of power, the next person comes and say, okay, you guys, you know what, I'm canceling the nuclear program? Is that possible, or is it that all the major political actors in Kenya have, in a way, accepted nuclear, just as it's been agreed upon in Ghana?
I think I can say yes, because we have had like 4 or 5 successive governments, and yes, they has been very, very keen on the nuclear power program. So we believe, yes, there is continuity. There is no point that maybe another president will come and say we don't need nuclear, because at the end of the day, all of us, we need to have affordable electricity, which they agree that nuclear is a source of one. So in a nutshell, yes, it is there. But the Ghana way is very, very interesting, because even I asked Yamo the other day that when Mahama comes in, will you now reverse what Nana has done? Because Nana has done a great job. I was with him in Vienna in 2020 last year, September, and he did a very, very incredible case for Ghana. Actually, he's one of the presidents that is very, very keen about the nuclear power program. Luckily enough that even if he goes home, then Mahama who comes in, then maybe he can continue with what has been done. The same thing applies in Kenya. We hope that for now, nuclear is in the development agenda, and no one will come and just say that remove this one because I don't want it. Because at the end of the day, for us to prosper as a nation, nuclear has been considered as one way of ensuring that we get the affordable, sustainable, clean, and affordable energy.
Great. Thank you, Edwin, for your answer. Thank you, Lennox. Other question? Yes, Salio, go for it.
Yeah, maybe just one simple question. In Kenya, do you have uranium stocked?
Not really. Yes, we have some traces, but it has not been economically ascertained. But we have some traces in many parts of the country.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, yes, I think that Dam also wants to say something. Yes, Dam.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Odin, for this great presentation. I appreciate it a lot. And in your presentation, so you tell us the main challenges you face to build your nuclear power program in Kenya. And my question will be about the financing or funding. Can you tell us more about the source of the financing for your nuclear power program? Like, you know, in Egypt, they use a BOT for building the power plant. Will you go at the same to the same system method of financing, or it's different?
Yeah, thank you, Dama. I think one of the biggest thing that we are also looking at is the issue of the financing. At the moment, we have not yet actually concluded on the ownership and financing structure of the nuclear power plant, but we are hoping that we will be able now to get either an intergovernmental agreement, or we will be able now to do the act of build on operate, so that at the end of the day we can be able to transfer. But I think at the moment we're not be able now to really conclude on that financing of the nuclear power plant. Last week, as I said, we were doing what is called the feasibility study of the nuclear power plant and how to ensure that it can be able now to be investable, it can be viable, and also it can be able now to ensure that the investors can have financial close on the same. But in a nutshell, we have not been able now to really close on the financing of the nuclear plant.
Okay, so you are in phase 1, maybe 2, and
Yeah.
so early to
Correct.
to work on it. Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Dan, for your question. Thank you, Edwin, for your answer. Any other questions? Any other thoughts? Okay, if no more question, I think that we can move toward the conclusion. So for the conclusion, I will leave you again the floor, Edwin, to give some words of conclusion, and then Dam, if you want to complete, we'll let you complete. And I mean, anyone who wants to say something to conclude, it will be with pleasure. So Edwin, over to you for some words of conclusion.
Thank you so much, Fatwa, and I want to really thank all of you. I believe, I don't know if we have any Kenyan member who is part of the AAPN. I really want to also to see the possibility of joining, because when you look at the vision, the mission, is actually very, very clear what we need to do. The three things that we need to do: number one, create awareness, bridge the gap of ensuring we have networking, and also encouraging and furthering strengthening the use of nuclear technology in the country, in the continent. These are things we need to do. And I want to engage, I want to urge us that actually the founder, my brother Dame, you did a good job. So we need us to really move it to the next level. And then we can be able now to really support our continent. Because at the end of the day, we need voices. Because if you're not going to be on the table, you'll be the menu. We don't need to be the menu, neither we want to be the waiters. We want to be the people who have been invited to be able to discuss and to forge and be able now to see what is the future of Africa in terms of nuclear power, because that is the future. For us to be able now to really leave a legacy to our generation, we need to ensure that we need to have nuclear power program and power plants in our continent. So I want to really say thank you so much. It's a wonderful opportunity. I want to urge you, let us continue, let's not tire. I believe that with a critical mass, we can be able now to really move from one stage to another. So I want to say thank you so much, and I take the opportunity to really thank the organizers and let us continue to work together. Asanteni sana. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.